was an amazing run. Nice.
Goodness me.
Are you serious?
I mean, it's the same, you get the same feeling. You get that same amped up feeling while you're filming snowboarding and while you're competing in snowboarding. You get that same adrenaline, those same butterflies. I just try to have fun whenever I can, whenever I'm on my snowboard, because if you're not having fun on your snowboard, then why are you snowboarding? Growing up at Mount Bachelor, basically it made me the snowboarder I am today. It taught me so much. It's an incredible snowboard mountain, and it's not necessarily the steepest or the gnarliest, but we do get insane snow and we do have epic snowboard terrain.
It's a big skate parky-esque mountain with lots of features everywhere. Nothing's big, nothing's steep. There's nothing crazy there. It's just fun little wind-lippy tranny.
There's so many fun side hits. It's all little quarter pipes all over the place, and you got to maintain speed to hit the right hits, and everything's kind of like a little dodgy. You're always hopping down onto certain trails and stuff like that, and you just got to have your wits about you the whole time.
I feel like a lot of the riders that come out of that area, Austin Smith, Curtis Cizik, Josh Dirksen, have learned how to properly turn their snowboard before they've learned how to do a trick in the air.
God, I knew it. My dad moved us out here after school. He was super into kayaking and super into snowboarding, and Mount Bachelor was a big part of why we moved out here as a family, because my dad was so into it. He got me on a snowboard when I was 6 years old. So kind of once I started getting into it, then he got my brothers into it.
That's kind of just what we did. We didn't spend a lot of time doing yard work and stuff like that. I mean, I would work Monday through Thursday, so when I would get off work, I mean, it was getting ready to go snowboard Friday morning, Saturday and Sunday, and they didn't really have a choice because that's where we were going. But when the boys started riding with James Jackson, especially Ben, he started riding really fast and just finding little pockets of tranny to hit and keep speed going.
Yeah, because when James would take them up on hill, they weren't just hitting the park, or they weren't in the pipe. They were just riding the mountain.
When I first got to ride with those kids in the beginning, we never even stepped foot in the park. We were all about free riding and just finding tranny and knowing speed and getting comfortable with that stuff, so when they did go in the park or the pipe, it was really easy and it was more fun, and so it's just being a snowboarder and doing it all.
of the better runs I think I have ever done. Yeah, I'm stoked right now.
The first time I realized that Ben had officially taken that next step in professional snowboarding was actually on an edit on our website. It was Ben and Terrier, nose to tail, just ripping around Mount Baker, edging so hard and making turning really look like an art form. I mean, if you can share an edit online or in video with Terrier Hawkinson and come out as the more talked about rider, and you're 19 years old, that to me is the epitome of taking the next step in snowboarding.
He's just one of those riders who can ride everything, and that's why Ferg has always stood out at Peace Park. He can jump, he can ride the pipe, he can do hips, and he's always sending it. He's always going fast, he's always going big, and he's one of the guys who kicks the energy into gear. A lot of the kids at Peace Park are kind of waiting for the signal to, okay, are we supposed to get gnarly now or get crazy? Like Ferg's just always, whatever it is, you know, gator rolls and double cripplers, and he's never been scared to be the one to kick off the session, and I think that's one of the things that I like about him most.
Oh my God, wow! Wow!
It's awesome having Gabe around. I just feel like super lucky, you know? I always got a buddy. He's like my best friend for sure. It's really good to be able to travel with your brother and have that support and have that homie with you all the time. And like I always got a great riding buddy and I always got a great road trip buddy. The kid is just naturally like talented and naturally like super steezy.
Gabe, I think, is definitely one of the next generation pipe riders. And he's really coming into his own with his style, and his trick selection is insane. I think when you watch people like Ben or, Danny as well in the pipe, you can tell that they're there to snowboard, and that's first and foremost.
They don't necessarily take things as seriously as some of the other competitive riders, and I don't really know what it is about Ben and Danny that shows that, but you can just genuinely see that they're having a really good time.
I think amplitude, going big, that is the hardest thing in the halfpipe. Doing tricks 5 feet out and doing them 20 feet out are two different playing fields. That's what makes a trick really scary and really gnarly. You're doing this trick at really high speeds, you're going really high out of the halfpipe, and that's way cooler than doing something really tech, really low. Nobody wants to see a switchback 7 or a switch McTwist if it's 5 feet out. We want to see that thing 15 feet out, 20 feet out.
Last Olympic qualification year, I was really close to getting in there. I got 5th. They take 4, so I was right there on the cusp of making it to the Olympics. Going into this next qualification round, there's definitely like this is my time. This is my definite time to make it to the Olympics. If I was ever gonna go, I think this is my time to go.
Qualifying for the Olympics is the most stressful thing I think I've ever done in my life. I felt like when I was doing it, I was just saying, if I go, that's awesome. If I don't end up making the team, then it's all good. But deep down, that's the biggest lie you've ever said in your life. You want to make that team so bad.
I think one thing that I've always stuck true to, let's not worry about Olympics. You got to worry about the contests that are right in front of you and take it day by day and really just ride what's in front of you.
So either I was thinking kind of starting where Mikkel is and cutting under this cornice, dumping a bunch of slough down here, and then airing off this big kind of fin right below me, and like cross-cording back over to the left. And like, yeah, I think that could be cool.
I mean, everything you see in the videos, you say, oh man, that looks so sick and fun what they're going down. You get there and you're looking on these binoculars at this other peak and you're trying to figure out where you're going down. And then when you get up to the ridge, you can't see where you're going. It's a trip.
You get up to Alaska, you get into a helicopter, and you get dropped off on these peaks that are just straight down. And your first runs, your first turns, it almost seems like there is 100% chance that you're gonna die. It's so beyond anything you've ever experienced in your life.
I think the first year I was up there, I was just kind of like a dumb kid and didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of sending it.
I think he came straight from a half-pipe contest or something like that. Like, he was not in the mindset of riding Alaska or backcountry for that matter. Like, he had just probably was on the podium of a half-pipe contest a couple days before, and then all of a sudden was in a helicopter riding Alaska lines. It was myself and John Jackson, and so to be with Ben for his first time, and then to have this jump that was built for our trip there, and have it be like this massive hip that you could really go as big as you wanted. I remember being at the top of the jump and being nervous to hit the jump, but Ben lost Rochambeau, so he had to hit the jump first. And when he took off the lip, in my mind, I was just like, dude, he's dead, because he just soared. He literally took off and arched that method, and it looked like a guy was flying in like a wingsuit or something like that. It was just so like beyond what I assumed was gonna happen. And sure enough, he landed it first go, and it was, I don't know, it was one of the coolest things to be a part of.
Alaska has been like the most scared and the most like stoked I've ever been, and within 20 minutes, the place is insane. Like, it's definitely like the Mecca. Just big, real mountains, like fastest I've ever gone on my snowboard. Like the most nervous I've ever been on my snowboard, and then, like I said, the most excited I've ever been on my snowboard was in Alaska.
It's like he found a new gear to drop into. He just goes so fast, and you can tell that's what he wants to do, you know? He's got a little redneck in him, a little like Ricky Bobby. He just wants to go fast.
All right, I'm ready for you, Ben. Fun.
Does this really help your pipe riding, or like?
Sure, yeah. If that justifies coming out here, then it definitely does. Definitely helps the pipe riding.
Yeah, having the family at Baldface was a super special thing. We spent like the week before Christmas up there. You fly in on this helicopter, it's beautiful mountains out in British Columbia, and you land at this gigantic cat ski lodge, and you're basically up there riding powder, having the best time of the year up there.
Almost every run, we're like, best run of my life. That was the best run of my life.
It was kind of crazy. They were fast and like through the trees. It was really fun for me to watch, like in person.
That style of riding at Baldface is basically what I've always like kind of really tried to instill in those kids when they were growing up. You know, it's just a total free ride, be able to ride the whole mountain. You know, as soon as you can ride the whole mountain, you're gonna be able to do whatever you want in a half pipe.
And my brother, Zach, he shreds. He's still such a good snowboarder. I was calling him Big Z from Surf's Up. He's got sick style.
It is the all-encompassing snowboarding destination. And what's really cool is when you hear about people like the Fergusons getting together and going riding there. That's like a dream come true for any son, any parent.
Yeah, it's the best vacation I could ever ask for. I don't want to go to Disneyland, or I don't want to go to, I don't really care that bad about going to Hawaii or Mexico, but if I could go to Baldface for my vacay every year, I'd be stoked.
The half pipe in May at Mount Bachelor was crucial and super beneficial. You know, everybody got to be home. We're all in a very, very comfortable setting. We could go, you know, free ride for a little bit and then come back to the half pipe.
Being able to have my friends up there riding a 22-foot half pipe with me was also like a necessity. I mean, there's definitely tricks going into next winter that I want to have dialed, and there was definitely new tricks that I wanted to learn and, you know, get some work on.
I was all time because we brought homies up like every day. We needed boys to lap sleds, so Ben always invited friends to come up. Alo, I think, was there every day. He was always shredding, and then, yeah, it kind of was like some days we definitely got serious, but some days it was like just super fun kind of shred session.
I think they got really lucky. I think that Mount Bachelor did a really good job. The guy cutting the pipe did a really good job. The weather was amazing. It was a good vibe up there. Everyone was working hard, but having like a good time. I mean, we had a Traeger at the bottom and music, and turned into a really good thing, I think.
I think what Gabe got out of riding that half pipe at Bachelor, I think he really figured out how to gain and hold speed and be able to boost. He's getting older, he's getting stronger, and I think he really came out of spending that time in the half pipe bit riding more like a man and being able to manhandle it a little more.
It's just crazy how good, how comfortable those guys are. To see even the progression in those guys' riding in that time, and I guess a lot of that's just getting comfortable with the pipe and stuff like that, but I mean, obviously they're good, but by the end of the time of the pipe, like, those guys were going crazy. They were going nuts in there, you know?
try to do as much as I can on my snowboard, and I've always tried to have as much fun as I can on my snowboard because it's snowboarding and it's what I love to do. And I think I have been really lucky to be kind of like a part of this whole contest scene and then also be accepted by the filming world. I'd love to do them both, you know, I'm on my snowboard and it's the best job in the world. I don't want to be doing anything else.